Mini enthusiasts, how are you doing? I hope you're having a great day and I hope you're all well. So in this week's video, it's a little bit fragmented. It's split up into 3 parts. So to make it easier, if you look at the progress bar on the video down the bottom, and I try to do this in the videos are a little bit longer or maybe a little bit fragmented, is I break it up into different chapters. So if you click on the description down the bottom, you'll see you can click to specific points within the video, or you might want to watch it all. I'd appreciate it if you do. So it's split into 3 key areas. The first area is arguably the toughest job to do on a Mini, and that is replacing the brake master cylinder and removing the Clevis pin and the split pin that go on it. In fact, the brake master and the clutch master cylinder are both nightmare jobs to do. It's made a lot easier on Tardis because it doesn't have that 3rd clutch pedal in the way. So you've got better access to it and all the inside is stripped out as well. So I make it look really, really easy, but it's not. It's quite a tough job, but there is a bit of technique to doing it. Second part of the video is 100% a subscriber request. So one of the subscribers dropped in the channel down the bottom a few weeks ago if I could show removing the fuel pump, because you've got to do it on his car. Wasn't sure how it comes off, goes back on and how it works. So I show that in a bit of detail. And the third part of the video, probably the best bit, or I say so anyway, seems quite straightforward, removing the water pump. But there was a big surprise when I removed the water pump. This car never ceases to amaze me in its condition. So I won't spoil the surprise. Watch the video, get to the end, and you'll see what I mean. Again, like I say, this car just never ceases to amaze me. Thanks for tuning in this week. I hope you enjoy the video and I will be back again soon. Thanks a lot.
Right, brake pedal Clevis pin and split pin. Often described as the worst job to do on a Mini. Now, it is a bit easier here because this is an automatic, so we don't have a clutch pedal in the way. It's also well stripped out, so the heat has gone. That big bit of trunking, cold air trunking that goes up the side here is gone. And we can get to it pretty easily. In fact, I can touch it and bend the split pin with my finger. So this is made a whole lot easier. Now, even if this wasn't an auto, I've got some really long nose pliers and they make the job a whole lot easier. So the first thing you need to do is straighten out that split pin because it ain't coming out if it's bent. I can almost get to this and take it out by hand. That's ridiculous. I'm sure some people have cursed at this for hours trying to get this out or back in. So we got that a bit straight. It's not completely straight. And then I can probably just pull it with long nose pliers. There you go. Now, long nose pliers up the other side. Pull the pin out. These long nose pliers are really handy actually. And what I find really useful is if it's a bit tight and you've got some long nose mole grip pliers, you can get up there, clamp onto it and get them out that way. So that's that end off. Now let's go under the bonnet and take the other end off. Bit of a subscriber request this one. So someone asked me, they said they've got to replace their fuel pump on the car. So it's a lot more difficult on the car because you're working down the back of the engine, and just with it like this, it's obviously very easy to do. So I thought I'd just talk through it as I'm doing it. Very, very simple. Obviously disconnect both fuel pipes. This supply pipe from the fuel tank, you will probably want to clamp this off. Either clamp it off or take the pipe off at this end and plug it up because fuel will probably just drip out of that. And then there are 2 7/16 bolts down the bottom.
And that's the fuel pump out. So there's only 2 bolts that hold it on. Couldn't be simpler really, but just remember there is a plastic spacer block in between, so that needs a gasket on each side of it. And the pump works by this arm here goes up inside the engine block and meets up with a lobe on the camshaft, so the camshaft runs along the back here, and it has an off-center lobe for the fuel pump, so every time the crankshaft rotates it presses on this arm and that will pump fuel. So I'll just show you that. I'll drip a bit of fuel on the floor, get a rag ready. So every time the camshaft goes round it pumps a bit of fuel, and we can tell obviously this pump is working absolutely fine because we can hear it. So we'll just give this a clean up and put it back in, but don't forget the plastic block in between. I'll try and see if I can get a camera up there just to show you what that looks inside, but yeah, that's basically it. Fuel pump goes up inside there, meets up with the lobe on the camshaft. As the camshaft turns, that pushes the lever arm in and out. That causes makes the fuel pump pump. Pretty simple. And if you want to test if it's working, yeah, just take it off, put your finger over one end and pump it, and you should get some vacuum on there. Most of the time you can hear them pumping. Right, we're going to take off the water pump as well. Now, I don't think there's anything wrong with the water pump in terms of it leaking, but someone had put the wrong bolts through here, didn't have the spacer on, and stripped the thread out of one of these holes here. So I think for the price of a water pump we'll just put a new one on. I also need to replace the bypass valve as well. Again, there's nothing wrong with that one, but they are a pig to change once it's all back together. So we'll put one on now. Someone did mention about a silicone one. I've not even started looking, to be honest. I don't know what types you can get, but yeah, this is not an original one because I think the original ones were solid. This one's convoluted. It makes it easier to fit when it's on the car. Might get a bit of water out of here actually, sitting at the bottom of the block there. Let me grab a towel in preparation. There we go, not much water there. Don't actually know whether you'll be able to see this, but yeah, one of those threads, that one there, is just damaged. But for the price of a water pump, not much point mucking about really, is there? I will just get the water out of here quickly, use a sponge or something like that, and we'll have a look in there, see how dirty and gummed up. After all, this is a 34-year-old car. It might only be low mileage, but yeah, it's 34. So every now and again with this car, I tend to doubt the mileage a bit. It's only got 12,000 miles on the clock, and it had a big period in its history. You know, I think it was about 12 years where it did no mileage at all, where it was just laid up. And I always think to myself, someone could fake up the service history on it. Maybe, I don't know, maybe it's lost a few thousand miles here and there. And when I was looking at the back of that engine earlier, I thought, you know what, it's a lot of oil on the back of there for an engine that's only done 12,000 miles. But I've just taken that water pump out. Look at inside of that engine, the water jackets. There's still paint on the... I'm gobsmacked by that. It's 34 years old. There is not an ounce of rust inside that engine. Now, normally that would just be... An engine this age would be really rusty inside. That's cleaner than the inside of P.11's engine. It's still got overspray paint on the... Well, they're not cylinder liners, but that's the bore there. Look at that. It's still got original paint on there, and there is no rust at all. I'm absolutely amazed, absolutely amazed by that. Wow. I don't think I've ever seen a cleaner Mini engine inside the water jacket like that. That is phenomenal.